So I just finished watching this 2012 action sci-fi movie called Lockout, starring Guy Pearce, and wow, let's talk about it. In the future, they have built a orbiting supermax prison. The United States government has sent almost 500 of the most dangerous, irredeemable, awful prisoners to this floating prison. And they keep them there in suspended animation. And there's a concern on Earth that this is unfair to the prisoners, so they send an expert to go make sure that this isn't going to be a problem. And the expert they send is the United States president's daughter. And so she goes to the prison, and wouldn't you know it, that just happens to be the day that there's a massive breakout at this orbiting space prison, and she gets taken hostage by 500 murderers and rapists. And so they have to rescue the president's daughter. You know, you would assume they'd send in the Air Force, the Marines, or somebody. No. They send in one guy. They send in Guy Pearce.
You serious?
So they send one dude to go rescue the president's daughter, and action ensues. And there are so many problems with this movie. I mean, the basic plot is ridiculous enough, but there are just so many things that happen in this movie that make absolutely no sense. There's just, oh my God. The whole thing is Guy Pearce is trying to get the president's daughter to an escape pod on the station. There's the station that has an escape pod. It's like, oh, okay, we got to get the daughter to the escape pod. It's a secret escape pod. Okay, fine. And we find out when he gets to the escape pod that there's only one seat. And so they do the whole cliche thing. Oh, no, I'll get the next one. You take this one, I'll go get the next one. Okay, you have an orbiting space station that has tons of scientists and researchers and prison guards, tons of people who are not prisoners and who are just good people who are trying to help out and do their job. If things go wrong, like they did, there's not a contingency plan. That if these scientists and researchers are there the day that things go wrong, they're just dead, that there's no hope, there's no way of jettisoning off this thing. This is the equivalent of building a giant cruise boat with a single lifeboat that can take one person. And the question becomes, which one person gets that lifeboat, right? Like, it makes no sense. It makes no sense. This movie's just riddled with dumb cliche nonsense. And it really feels like this movie was written by an artificial intelligence. It's like they took every action movie of the last 40 years, they slammed it into a computer program and said, write me the next big hit sci-fi action movie. And it just flung this out of the printer, and they didn't even proofread it. They just went and started filming it. And it's just a collection of all the cliches you can possibly think of. Okay, we need a MacGuffin. We need a hostage. We need to involve the president somehow. We need to get a double cross. We need to get a super secret double cross. We need amnesia. Okay, we need like everything. Just everything. We need everything. Okay? And it's all done so poorly. Now, there's a couple of bright spots. Not many, but there's a couple. I mean, the performances from the actors are good. I will say, the actors are clearly trying their best. But the problem is that the characters are so one-note and cliche and boring that multiplying a great performance by nothing is still nothing. I mean, you can take a great actor and they can try their hardest, but if there's nothing there to work with, it's not going to help, which is exactly what happened in this movie. Maggie Grace, who plays the damsel in distress, the president's daughter, she's really trying her heart out. You can really tell she's trying to bring something to this role, but she's just a woman who's in a hostage situation. And it's like, what do you bring to that, honestly? Like, what do you do with that? There's not a lot there. And I gotta say, when this movie started, I was really worried, because at the very beginning of the movie, there is this sequence that has some of the worst CGI I've seen in a really long time. Guy Pearce jumps out of a door. He sees a motorcycle, a futuristic one-wheeled motorcycle. He jumps on it and he's trying to escape from like a hovercraft thing. And it's so badly edited, such bad CGI, horribly rendered, horrible lighting, horrible effects. everything you could do wrong with VFX was done wrong in this sequence. And this is like the first big CGI thing I saw, and I thought the whole movie was going to be this bad, and I didn't even think I was going to be able to finish it. But it was just that one sequence was particularly bad, but then the rest of the movie was just okay. It wasn't terrible CGI and it wasn't good CGI, but it was passable. With all that being said, my final rating for Lockout is going to be a 4 out of 10. Okay, so this movie is insane, and it's devoid of any redeeming qualities as far as I can tell. There's nothing in this movie worth watching. Like, don't watch this movie. Please do not watch this movie. It's not good at all. It's bad. It's a bad movie. But it's competently well made, right? Like, technically, besides a couple of really bad CG moments, it's made well enough to be watchable. But, like, why would you? Why would you watch a bad to mediocre movie when there's so many good things out there? And, like, if you want to watch a great action movie, dude, go watch John Wick. Oh my God. The John Wick movies are so good. Go watch any of the John Wick movies or any Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. All of them are better than this. Like, it's just, don't bother. Just don't bother. Thanks so much for watching my review of Lockout. If you guys like the content, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps me out.